Hi everybody, I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Kwame Akama, and among many other things, I am an advocate, I am a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, and a storyteller. So I know Mother's Day is coming up, and it's a really good time of the year when we get to thank our moms and really acknowledge the important role that mothers have played in our lives. I know many girls my age are now becoming first-time moms, and it's very exciting to see, friends and acquaintances get into this really important stage of life. But when we're posting our moms on Mother's Day, sometimes I wonder, what about those girls who actually don't have moms because their moms have passed on and are no longer here? Or what about those girls who actually have moms and very sadly enough they don't have good relationships with their moms, or their moms are present but they're not able to meet the emotional needs of their children adequately? The moms are good providers. I mean, they're good moms by all standards, but sometimes you feel as though the relationship with your mom might be missing something. And so I'd really just like to take a step back, because I'm very obsessed with motherhood and that filial relationship between a mother and a daughter. And I've spoken to so many women, and I'd just really like to express so many thanks and a lot of gratitude to my own mom. She has really shaped my life in an incredible way. And I really like observing mothers and daughters, and I know that a few girls out there, or maybe very many, because I've realized motherhood is something that's very highly critiqued but also unchallenged in many aspects. And there are some women or girls who have mothers who've been emotionally unavailable all their lives, and some have, downright toxic mothers. And so this video is for those girls who've always felt as though that relationship with their mom doesn't really match what they've seen around with their friends. I want to address those girls who've also had, just a toxic relationship with their mothers. And I want to encourage you, because most of the time, in Africa especially, adults have a habit of pulling rank. And when you have a disagreement with your mother or with your father, outrightly, most of the time when you are growing up, it was you who was wrong. As a child, how much did you know? How much do you understand? I am the parent and I'm telling you what to do. But as we grow older, I've realized, talking to these women who don't have such nice relationships with their mothers, they have really tried to mend this relationship. And when things go wrong, it's always more of like, it must be me. It must be me. Motherhood is unchallenged in that aspect. Even in religion, the way for Catholics who pray the rosary and all these eulogies, we pray to Our Lady, Mother most chaste, Mirror of justice, this really amazing adorations we give towards motherhood, it's transferred into our daily lives. And so where women have failed as mothers, where women have not adequately provided for the emotional needs of their children, and for those women who've been downright toxic to their children, it's something that's not really discussed about. It's almost a taboo subject, and this video is for those girls who had relationships that are struggling with their moms. So if your mom stonewalls you a lot, she's not empathetic, you go to her and you try and express something like, oh, I really had a hard day at work, and she stonewalls you outrightly, it's more of like, you're lucky to even have that job in the first place. Or a mother who's, I don't think she realizes it, or maybe she does, but she's very competitive with her daughter for so many things. It could be looks, it could be perspective from others and how other people see her. She wants to probably look better societally than her daughter. Perhaps she's competing for the attention of the father, because the father has such a nice relationship with the daughter, and the mother doesn't have such a nice relationship with the dad. They could be competing for the father's attention, and it could turn mother and daughter into a foe. That's just one of the signs of discord in mother-daughter relationships, especially where there's a toxic situation going on from the mother's side. Another thing that I've come across from my research is moms who have perhaps many kids, and these kids have different emotional needs, and some moms are able to resonate to other children better than others, and perhaps you're that one child that your mother couldn't resonate well to. What happens in such situations where daughters, especially who've had emotionally unavailable mothers who explore all those traits that I've just mentioned, you sort of grow up trying to get the validity and validation from your mother, because you go to school or you're at your friend's house and you see the sort of good relationship that she has with her mom. Her mom affirms her, her mom builds her confidence, her mom tells her you have everything right going on with you. But that's not the case with you and your mother. And what happens is you carry on a legacy of hurt that unfortunately most times is usually replicated in future relationships with your daughter, and your daughter with your granddaughter. It's just unfortunate, but it's something that is there. I would like to really encourage you and tell you one thing. First, it's highly likely that it's not you. What we need to understand is that our parents were raised by parents who were deeply hurt by colonialism. So the relationship between your grandmother and mother was not, it's highly likely that it was not sentimentalized. It was more of survival. Your grandmother was trying to survive, and she didn't have time to emotionally be there for her children as such. It wasn't a concept perhaps that even existed in our African culture. I stand to be corrected, but that's what I think. And so now our parents have been raised by such people who were hell-bent on survival, who'd been deeply hurt by colonialism, and they have a new generation of children who've been exposed to other cultures and have been able to see how mothers adequately provide for the emotional needs of their children. So I must give it to our moms, especially the moms of my generation. Some of them have been able to, you know, shake that survival instinct and survival mode away and be able to adequately provide for the emotional needs of their children. But some moms really quite weren't able to shake that off, and so they're emotionally unavailable. And what then happens is that a phenomenon called disorganized attachment develops between the mother and the daughter. And this disorganized attachment is where the daughter is trying constantly to seek the validation of her mom, but her mom stonewalls her. Her mom can't see anything right with her. And you know the way daddy issues replicate in relationships when it comes to a man and a woman, for a woman who didn't have a father, the same way happens to a woman who hasn't been adequately mothered. This disorganized attachment replicates itself in the sort of men that you seek. So if you have not so good relationship with your mom and you're trying to seek validation from her and that doesn't work out, it's highly likely that you see the trend in the sort of men that you choose. You choose men who are also emotionally unavailable, and really you try and seek the validation. You try and be the good lover. They've set a standard and you want to reach it, but they're quite not giving it to you. Inadvertently, without you noticing, this relationship that you have with your mother is replicated with the man or the sort of men that you allow into your life. So I am here to encourage all the women who are struggling in such relationships with mothers. The first thing is to forgive, and for some people it may take longer, or for some people are like, what are you talking about? Because the amount of hurt that has been instilled in you throughout your childhood and even as an adult by your mother could be so much. But I encourage you to first forgive, because forgiveness, as I've discovered, is a survival skill. And then number two, you have to understand that some women simply were not equipped to be emotionally available. And the thing is, fathers get away with it. You know, so many people will say, oh, you know, my father was not so touchy-feely, but he was an excellent provider. And guess what? There's some moms who are like that, and they are allowed to be like that. Perhaps no one showed them how to love, and they just pretty much don't have it in it. Now I need to break it to you. Nurturing is not a natural instinct per se. I know we sometimes think that a woman gives birth to her child and oh my god, she falls in love with the child immediately. But sometimes no, now we are having more moms coming out and saying, well, I gave birth to my child and I looked at this child and I was like, okay, maybe I'm responsible for it. But it took a period of time to fall in love with this child, and then, you know, get to a place emotionally where you're taking care of them and not just physically and feeding them. So nurturing and being emotionally available isn't something that comes naturally to us simply because we are women. And so we should cut many mothers slack, especially those who are not able to be there like that. First of all, you have to forgive, as I've said. Then you have to understand nurturing and emotional availability isn't gender based. Some people have it, some people don't, and that could be your mom. And so when you understand her and you're able to see her like that, you're able to understand that she's just a human. She has some things and she doesn't have some things. And then number three, for those who have really bad relationships, and the truth is, like I've said, some mothers are probably just downright toxic. For those ones, you have to respect them, but then you have to create a distance. And what I mean by a distance is a respectful distance in such a way that you're not rude to your mother, you're not calling her names, but it's like a relationship that you have with a boss that you respect. If anything, you may not love her, but one thing you can do is respect her by virtue of her age, her experiences, perhaps she was a good provider and she has other skills that you can benefit from. So I think it's just respecting her and creating that good distance, so that sometimes anything negative that she says or anything negative that can come across that you particularly don't like, you're protected from just because of that distance. So you can respect, but you can create a healthy distance between yourself and perhaps a mother like that I've just described. And holidays can be very isolating, but if you have, for those of us who are blessed to have really, really nice moms, it's something to thank God for. And for those girls whose moms have passed on, girls, I know it's very, very, very difficult, but you have a legacy of motherhood to carry on from your mom, and the skills and the values that she taught you. You can live them out every day and be a living testimony of your mother's life. And then for those girls who perhaps have now toxic mothers, forgive them. Understand that they may not be equipped with what you need, respect them, and then create a healthy distance. And that's it from me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you again when I'm talking about something else. And happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there. Thank you.